Greetings, everyone. My name is Dr. Ahuva Gamliel. I'm a licensed acupuncturist and a naturopathic doctor. For those of you who haven't heard about naturopathic medicine, it's an alternative form of healthcare which integrates nutrition, holistic healing modalities such as vitamins and supplements, herbal medicine, homeopathy, physical therapy. We do some body types of treatments such as naturopathic manipulation, which is similar to chiropractic. It encompasses everything basically that's holistic and natural. So today I want to talk about how we can prevent getting sick. During the COVID pandemic, there's a lot of concern, and rightfully so, about keeping healthy and how to prevent getting sick. And now that they're saying that there's supposed to be a second wave coming in the fall, I wanted to talk about how to prevent getting sick. So the truth of the matter is that we are all exposed to viruses and bacteria all the time on a regular basis, even before this COVID thing ever happened. And the truth of the matter is that most of us rarely get sick if and when our immune systems are intact. So I want to discuss some easy ways to keep our immune systems running at optimal levels so that we don't get sick, so that if and when a second wave of this pandemic occurs, we can, despite potential exposure at grocery stores and so on and so forth, we don't have to necessarily get sick. So naturopathic medicine is based on three pillars: nutrition, physical activity, and lifestyle. So I'm going to go one by one and give you some practical tips about things that you can do to strengthen yourself so that you don't get sick. And just as a disclaimer, please do consult with your primary care provider before starting anything new, whether it's nutritional or physical, such as exercise. It's really important because I don't know, obviously, what medications you're taking, and there are certain drug herb interactions and vitamin drug interactions and so forth. So certain things are contraindicated in certain circumstances. So you do need to consult a qualified practitioner. And if you would like to consult with me, you definitely can book an appointment to do so. So, nutrition. So, the first part of nutrition, it's very logical, and I feel almost kind of silly saying it because everybody knows these things, but it's still a good reminder for us. So, here we go. Everything that's natural is beneficial and preferable. So fruits, vegetables, and grains. So we want to eat as much as we can things that are fresh, local, organic, and seasonal. So fresh meaning not canned or jarred or frozen. The fresh fruits and vegetables are loaded with antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that are good for our bodies. Frozen, except for blueberries, which I think because of the frozen water like locks in the nutrients, frozen fruits and vegetables, especially if they're already pre-cut, do tend to have a lower nutritional status. And okay, I thought I stopped the recording for a second. So we want to make sure that we're getting as much bang for our buck in terms of like nutrition. So if you can have far more nutrients from fresh spinach, why would you want to have frozen spinach that has maybe like a third of the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients? So anything that's already pre-cut, for example, canned pineapple, it has to obviously be cut to put in the can. Anything that you cut, you're already starting the oxidization process. So by the time that it gets to you, and with canned fruits and vegetables, it can be, the shelf life can be 2 years. So once it's already been cut and canned, it's also losing nutritional value. So fresh, if you do use certain ingredients that are canned or jarred, make sure that you read the ingredient label, and the list should only have that ingredient, for example, garbanzo beans, water, and then the only really like acceptable preservatives are salt or citric acid. Citric acid is like vitamin C. But if there's any chemicals in there that you can't even pronounce, run. Like, don't be putting things into your body that are additives, preservatives, pesticides, chemicals, all kinds of sugar or sweeteners such as maltodextrin. Those are the things that are going to suppress our immune system and weaken our bodies. So we want to avoid those. So we covered fresh food. Local meaning it's preferable if it's here, grown in your area. So I'm making this video in Florida, so it's better if we can eat foods that are native to this area. Ideally, if you grow it yourself, or local farmers markets. Organic, because obviously we want to limit our exposure to pesticides. Now, it goes without saying that even organic food does have a certain level of pesticides, although it's less pesticides than other fruits and vegetables that are like conventionally grown. Um, I've also seen some frozen organic produce at Whole Foods, which says grown or made in China. I would be highly skeptical of such foods and try to avoid them. So again, it comes back to reading labels and really making informed and conscientious decisions about everything that we're putting into our bodies. So that was fresh, local, organic, and seasonal. Well, here in Florida, we have one season, and that's summer. So tropical fruits and vegetables goes without saying. But then, of course, in the winter, we might want to have more root vegetables that are more grounding, more warming for the body. That's kind of like the macrobiotic way of eating. So nutrition is pretty simple. It's like the rule KISS, keep it simple, silly. And really, if you think about it, we want our bodies to be functioning optimally, so we have to give our bodies optimal fuel. So again, it's back to the basics: organic fruits and vegetables, grains, poultry, fish, and meat. So if you are eating animal products, also make sure that it's the highest quality. In Publix, they sell Green Wise. In other supermarkets, they do have organic poultry, for example, hormone free, antibiotic free. If it's fish, you want to make sure that it is not farm raised, because farm raised is given antibiotics. So you want to make sure that it's wild caught. Fresh water or cold water fish are the best. And in terms of beef, you want to make sure that it's grass fed, not grain fed, and that it's also organic, and that the cattle are able to, they're free range, they're able to roam, they're not in like small stalls. Because if we eat stressed out animals, and their stress hormones are going to be in the meat, and then we're going to eat that, and we already have too much stress in our daily lives. So that's it in a nutshell for nutrition. Now, in terms of supplements, there's a lot of controversy about vitamins and supplements, whether they're effective or not, or whether it's just expensive and it doesn't really work. But being that most of us have suboptimal diets, we're not getting enough nutrition and nutrients and fiber in our diets. In general, I do think it's a good idea to take a multivitamin, and there's different multivitamins for different phases of life. And I don't have like a stock in any supplements, and if I mention any particular supplement, it's not because I'm trying to sell you anything. It's just because it's what I've experienced has worked, either for me personally or for my patients. So that's the basis of my recommendation. I'm not making any money off of this free health advice. So that just as a disclaimer, to put that out there. So back to vitamins. It's really important the form of the vitamin, because if you're not absorbing it, then you're just getting what we like to call expensive pee. And nobody wants to take their hard-earned money and throw it in the garbage, or down the toilet in this case. So the good vitamins are the ideal. The best way that it's absorbed, first and foremost, would be IV, intravenous. So IV vitamins are very expensive. It's like $150 a pop, and you might need to do that like once a month, but it's also not practical. So the next best form would be liquid. So vitamins that you could take in like either a tablespoon or like a little ounce thing, and you drink it. There's some vitamins that are liquid that you can buy online, or you can buy them at Whole Foods or your local vitamin shop, that are herb based. So they're not synthetic. They're not like, made in a lab. They actually are extracted from fruits and vegetables. So that would be ideal. Or something similar, but that comes in a powder form, which would be, for example, like some protein powder or green shake powders that you could like add to a morning smoothie and drink it that way. So so direct blood infusion would be the fastest way for your body to absorb. The next fastest way is drinking it. Or in the case, for example, of vitamin B12 or B complex, vitamins that are sprayed sublingually, or anything for that matter that you take sublingually, like a homeopathic remedy, which melts right underneath your tongue, because we do have very nice big veins underneath the tongue, and it gets directly absorbed into the bloodstream that way, and it bypasses the digestive tract. See, the problem is that a lot of us have suboptimal absorption and digestion because of years of, eating fast food and not ideal diets. So those are the two best ways, the liquid and the sublingual. And then the next best way would be in a capsule. And the reason why capsules are preferable over tablets is because, again, it's easier for the body to break down. So once we swallow a capsule and it goes into our digestive tract, it hits the stomach, and we have stomach acid, which is at a pH of about 2.0, and that will break down the capsule, melt it, so to speak, and allow the vitamins and minerals to, enter the body that way. The problem with tablets is that they have binders and fillers which keep them congealed, and it's also harder for the body to break that down. So if you already have tablet supplements at home, a way that you can test them is by putting them in a little cup or container and filling it up with some Coca-Cola. Believe it or not, the pH of Coca-Cola is 2.2, which is very close to the pH of the stomach. So you let it sit in there, just cover the vitamin with that amount of liquid. And if the vitamin breaks down within 20 minutes or so, then you know that that supplement is doing okay in your body because it is being broken down. But if you check on that tablet after 20 minutes and you see that it still looks the same, it's still congealed and still looks like a tablet, it's not soft, it's not falling apart or anything like that, then most likely it's doing the same thing in your body and you're not really getting the nutrients that you're wanting to derive from the supplement. Now, if you notice an improvement in whatever area that you're taking it for example, if you're taking something to boost energy and your energy is better, then fine. But if you're taking it for a certain specific outcome and you're not getting that outcome, then that might be why. So the vitamins and minerals specifically now that are really good for boosting your immune system are vitamin C, and I like to take it in divided doses because if we take too much at a time, we just pee it out. So the water-soluble vitamins, the ones that are very hard to overdo, are the vitamin C and the B vitamins. The fat-soluble vitamins are the ones that once you take them, you can't pee them out because they get absorbed into your fat cells, and so there's a much bigger risk of toxicity. So the fat-soluble vitamins are vitamin A, D, E, and K. So you definitely don't want to do mega doses of those unless it's supervised by a professional. So vitamin C is very good for the immune system. I'm not going to go into dosages because it would vary on a case-by-case basis. Zinc is also really important for the immune system, and that's good to prevent getting sick. I like to have a product called Airborne on hand. At the first set of like a little bit of a scratchy throat, I take it. Airborne, if you're not familiar with it, it's a tablet like an Alka-Seltzer, and you put it in water. You let it fizz, you let it dissolve, and then you drink it. They have all kinds of different flavors, like cherry, citrus, or lemon lime. And you don't even have to buy like the name brand one, like CVS, Walgreens, and other stores also have like their own off-brand one. And if you read the ingredients and they're like pretty much exactly identical in the same amounts, then why not save a couple bucks by getting the off-brand? I keep those on hand because at the first or the first sign of like a little bit of something coming on, I take it and it nips it in the bud. So you don't want to wait until it's like full blown coughing, sneezing, runny nose, sick, tired, fever. If you get to that point, then it's probably not going to help you. This is like more of a preventative immune system booster. It does have vitamins and minerals, as well as a Chinese herbal formula called Yin Chao Song, which is really good for boosting the immune system. I love that one. My dad's favorite is a homeopathic spray called Zicam, and it's kind of similar. You take it at the first signs of a cold, and it's supposed to help to nip it in the bud. So those are some things that you could do nutritionally. Now, in terms of cooking, there's certain spices that are really good for the immune system, such as ginger, which you can put in teas, you can put it in stir fry. I like buying fresh raw ginger, and I peel it and then I put it through my food processor on the shredder, and then I just grab like a little pinch, I guess, and I make tea out of that, and I put it with green tea. There's a lot of herbs that can be used for boosting the immune system. For example, chai tea has some great herbs such as cinnamon, cloves, ginger, cardamom. Those are all great herbs to take for boosting your immune system. I mentioned already green tea, basically like any herbal tea, and with honey and lemon is excellent. I've also made tea using turmeric and other spices that you would think of for cooking with, but they can also be wonderful healing herbs to drink. I even make a tea with, for example, turmeric, ginger, what's it called? Like a little bit of chili pepper, just a little dab of it. And I put apple cider vinegar, and it's like really an immune booster. And I drink that with like some lemon juice, squeeze a fresh lemon inside, and it's really good. I also buy these green drops to put in my water. I don't, the word is escaping me. Chlorophyll, there we go, chlorophyll. So it's a green drops, which is a blue-green algae. It's also, chlorophyll is really good for boosting the immune system, as are AFAs. Those are also different types of blue-green algae, spirulina and chlorella. Those are all really good nutritional greens that are good for boosting your immune system. So that brings me to staying hydrated. Drink, 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 drink. I know that it's really hard to get the allotted 8 glasses of water in, and the truth is that you can count tea as one of your, water requirements. So if you can get in a gallon of water, that's great. You're just flushing your body. I know it's annoying to have to pee every hour or whatever it is, but it's really worth it if you think of the health benefits of preventing getting sick. So the more you drink, the more you could flush toxins and pollutants from the body, strengthen your body, and prevent getting sick. So drinking lots of water. I recommend either having hot tea or at least room temperature water. I do not recommend drinking cold water, although in South Florida it's very hot in the summer and cold drinks are refreshing. They do, according to Chinese medicine, contract the internal organs, and this can lead to congealing fat. So, for example, one of the ideas behind why Americans are so much more obese than people in the Orient is because when we eat hamburgers here, for example, we follow it with like a large, Diet Coke or whatever it is, and the ice of the cold drink congeals all of the fat. That's why we have cholesterol problems and all kinds of cardiovascular diseases. Whereas in Asia, where they also eat a lot of animal products and fat products, they always drink hot tea afterwards, and hot melts or dissolves the fat, so it doesn't stick to the organs and blood vessels and so forth. So hot drinks, or at least room temperature drinks, are preferred. It doesn't shock the body, because even though our oral temperature should be around 98.6, our internal organ temperature is around 104, believe it or not. So when you drink something that's ice cold, it's very shocking to the body. So I feel like I've talked a lot about nutrition. There's still so much more to say, of course. But again, it would be on an individual basis based on a person's needs. For example, with the multivitamin, women who are menstruating also need to have iron in the vitamins, as opposed to men who are not losing blood every month. They do not need to supplement with iron in most cases unless they're anemic. And there's certain needs that people have when they're seniors to prevent osteoporosis and other conditions that are more likely that they're susceptible or at higher risk when they're over 55, for example. And there's also obviously children's vitamins. So we can go on and on and on about nutrition, but I'm going to stop there and let's jump into physical activity, because I know this is getting kind of a lot longer than I wanted it to be. I was thinking at first that the video would be about an hour, but then I thought let's try to make it down to 10 minutes because people really don't have the attention span. And so now we're at 20 minutes. I'm going to try to wrap this up by 30 minutes, kind of compromise between the hour and the 10 minutes. So physical activity is super important to promote circulation, move your energy, your chi, improve your mood. And of course, all of those things are really important for the immune system to prevent getting sick. You don't need to, go to the gym per se, especially now during COVID, gyms have been closed. So what you do need to do is move your body. So there's a plethora of ways to move your body. There's all kinds of free classes online. You can find YouTube videos, or many other sites are offering. I've seen on Facebook a lot of people offering free yoga classes as something to do, like a community service during the COVID crisis. And as long as you're moving, that's fine. So you got to find something that you enjoy and be consistent with it. It's much better to exercise 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, than to work out for an hour or whatever that would be, 100 minutes just on the weekend. You don't want to be a weekend warrior. You want to do small increments. So it could be walking. If you have any exercise equipment at home, that's great, but you don't need it. You can do all kinds of things. You could dance, you could do yoga, you can go on for a bicycle ride. Some boardwalks are open, you can walk by the beach. I encourage, if and when possible, to do your exercise in nature because it adds another element of protection. The sun is really good for boosting vitamin D levels in the body. I didn't mention that in supplements, but vitamin D is also another really good one to boost your immune system. So getting some sunshine. Maybe you want to wear like a visor to protect your face from getting sunburned, but having some exposure, maybe wearing a tank top, so getting your arms exposed so you can absorb that, get that vitamin D, that powerful nutrient that's going to prevent, all kinds of health conditions. So exercising outdoors is really good. You get the fresh air, and if possible, maybe, if you do a little bit of barefoot activity, whether it's just even sitting and having your feet on the ground, it's called earthing, and it's also very good for your mind, body, and spirit. Walking on the sand barefoot is really good for you. So anything and everything that you could do in nature, whether it's kayaking, whatever you have access to. There's also very small and inexpensive like little pieces of equipment that you can buy for home. For example, like I have a stepper which you can easily store like underneath a bed, which you just like go on, and you could do it like while you're watching television, or could be totally mindless. Or there's also like a little bicycle thing that you could just do with your feet. I have also bands that you can do, all kinds of different exercises. You can do a full body workout with just the bands. There's also, of course, like all kinds of workout videos, the P90X and the Insanity workouts, and Tai Chi and Qigong and belly dancing, and really the choices are unlimited. You just have to find something that appeals to you, that resonates with you, that you can do, that's at your level, that you don't get injured, and go at your own pace. And just keep moving. That's really important. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is lifestyle. So there's a lot of things that fall under the umbrella of lifestyle. And one of them is sleep. So making sure that you get good sleep, so 7 to 8 hours, or some people even say 9. That gives you 2 rounds of REM, rapid eye movement, so they're 4 hours each, and that's really important for boosting your energy and for improving your health and well-being, and preventing fatigue, and all these things are really important for your immune system. So if you do have problems with insomnia, for example, acupuncture is a great treatment for that, or there's also different supplements that can help with insomnia, or you can also work on improving your sleep hygiene, such as not watching television or being on gadgets or devices, for like having a bedtime routine, maybe disconnecting and unplugging like an hour before bed, maybe doing a meditation, listening to some relaxation music, or kind of like winding down, not having electronics in the bedroom, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that you can do to improve the quality and the quantity of your sleep. Another thing that falls under lifestyle is not smoking, so we don't want to do anything that will suppress our immune system or make us more likely or susceptible or vulnerable if we do get sick. So also not drinking, of course, excessively. Anything that would suppress our immune system we want to avoid. Other things under lifestyle would include like prayer or meditation or any kind of spiritual practice that you may have that may enhance your well-being. And really, like, we can go on and on and on, but I think that gives us enough. We're at 26 minutes now of ideas of things that you can do at home between nutrition, supplements, physical activity, and just mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, whether it's talking to somebody or journaling or doing some art or doing something that like enriches and enhances our lives so that we feel like that we're living a meaningful and fulfilling life, even if our activities of daily living have changed drastically because we're not able to do a lot of the things that we were accustomed to doing before. So I hope you got something meaningful out of today, out of this talk, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is drgamliel@gmail.com, drgamliel@gmail.com, and I would love to hear from you. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.